fifth graders, how are you? We're ready to do another day of math, and it's fun geometry stuff again. I know you're gonna love it. Today, we are doing lesson 105. Lesson 105, and you're gonna see it's pretty closely related to what we did yesterday, back in 80, what did we do, 88? So today is lesson 105. That is on page 687. Take a look at the title on page 687. It says, Symmetry and Transformations. So remember that we did transformations yesterday. Those were fun. Today we're also looking for symmetry. There are a few different concepts in here, but I think the biggest one we're focusing on is symmetry. And thankfully, that is something you have been doing for many, many years by now. Do you remember back when you were, let's say, in first grade or something, you'd have a geometric figure like a triangle, and you had to cut it in half so both sides were equal. And so you draw a line like that. That's a line of symmetry. See, you've been doing that for years, okay? Now, back in first grade, you would just do one line of symmetry. Here's one of the things we're looking for now that you're in a higher grade, doing harder work. That triangle actually has more than one line of symmetry, because you could chop it that way and have it, or fold it that way and have the same on each side. You could also go that way and it would be the same on each side. And you could go that way and it would be the same on each side. So this actually has 3 lines of symmetry through it. Okay, do you see how that's one step harder than what you were doing back years ago with lines of symmetry? So that is what we're looking at today. Remember, a line of symmetry means that you can take a figure and chop it in half or fold it in half, and both sides would be absolutely identical. I mean, if I put my hands up here, do you see how they fold to be the same? It's kind of that idea. All right, if you look on page 688, you will see our triangle with its lines of symmetry drawn. And then you also see a pentagon, okay? So the pentagon, pentagons are kind of tricky to draw. Let me see if I can do it. Ooh, they're hard with 5 sides. Something like that. This is not a very good pentagon. Let's see if I can fix that at all. How about that? That's a little better. Okay, so the pentagon is pretty amazing how many lines of symmetry it has, because you can chop it here, you could chop it here, you could chop it here, you could chop it here, and you could chop it here. Because you could do a fold or a cut from any point to straight across the figure. So it has 5 lines of symmetry. Isn't that amazing that it has 5? 5 lines of symmetry, and you'll see that on page 688. That's what they're showing you there, the 5 lines of symmetry. If you look over at page 689, you will see a square, and it shows, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of symmetry in a square. Okay? And then a hexagon. Do you see how many lines of symmetry that has? Count them up. Can you see how many lines? Lines that go clear across. You see it? 6 lines of symmetry in a hexagon. Okay, so got it for lines of symmetry? It's where you could fold that figure in half. It's where the fold line would be. Or you could chop it in half and both sides would be absolutely identical. Okay? All right, turn the page. There are some figures that have rotational symmetry. And that would be like a triangle. Okay? I could take my triangle. If this was A, B, and C, I could flip it over so that B goes down here. A turned up, B went down, C went over here. And they still are exactly the same. That's rotational symmetry. And we could flip it one more time, and it would still be symmetric. It would have rotational symmetry. Remember, when we rotate a figure, we actually move it, turn it around, shove it around. Like, remember rotating? I just turn it around. So that's what we're doing with that triangle there. Okay? All right. Example 3 asks us, which of the letters in the word math has rotational symmetry? Which one has rotational symmetry? Turn your book around and see if you look at it one way and when you flip it upside down, it still looks the same. Do you see which letter would look the same no matter if you look at it from one way or the other way? It's that great big fat H, okay? Because I have H this way, I can flip it around and it still looks like H. 2 lines with a middle, okay? So the letter H has rotational symmetry. All right, a couple more things to take a look at. The rest of the examples are showing this nice little L. Let me erase this so we have some space around our L. There we go. Okay, so again, in your book, they show this example on graph paper, and that's gonna help you. For us right now, we just have it on the whiteboard, so it's not quite on graph paper. Let me take this on here. There we go. We've got our 2 L's across from each other. Between these 2 figures, do you see that there is a line of symmetry? Is there a place we could draw the line on the graph paper that would be a line of symmetry? That, like, if we folded them together, they would be right on top of each other. And you're gonna see there's a line we could draw right down the middle, right there, that we say, ooh, that definitely has a line of symmetry, because if I folded this right on that line, those 2 L's would be right on top of each other in the same rotation. And so it does have a line of symmetry. And here is the thing that's a new concept for you. It is if you'll notice on this graph, the graph papers here, and they call this is the Y line, and this is the X line. So all the horizontal line here is X, the vertical is the Y, okay? So along the X line here, where that line of symmetry would be is on the 3. Do you see that? So they would say on this one, X equals 3. That's where the line of symmetry is. On the X line at the 3, there is our line of symmetry. Make sense? Okay. Now, let's take a look. I'm gonna get rid of that. Well, you know what, let me leave that. Well, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of that guy and leave the rest. And I'm gonna flip one of these over. I'm gonna have it look like example 5 right now. All right, so if these look like this, is there any way that these guys could have a line of symmetry? Is there any place you could draw a line and fold it on that line and they would match up? There is not. There is none. Because if you folded it here, this L would be facing that way. They'd be going opposite ways. So there is no line of symmetry for that. This letter L has been, they're translations of each other. It's just been shoved over, but they don't reflect each other. Okay, so no line of symmetry in that pair. Okay, and one last example that's on the top of page 692. We have our nice little L's here that are doing this. Okay. Do you see them doing that? So, this one here, do you see how it used to be? It's like here now. If we rotate it back, now they have they are identical to each other. So those have rotational symmetry. Just like that triangle that we could flip and it would still be the same shape, this L, we can flip it around and it will have the same figures. They'll be congruent. So those two guys have rotational symmetry. And I think that's everything with that we needed to look at. Yep. Okay, so yes, there's rotational symmetry. Now, you have a kind of a crazy assignment today. You just have A through G in the book. You're going to get through them so quick. So I gave you a couple more things to practice on because they're going to go so fast. Okay? You are going to do page 692. And that's A through G. And then you have the lesson 105 worksheet. Okay. And that has 5 more problems on it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the book and 5 here. And they go really fast, okay? And then, because those went so fast, I gave you 9 more on worksheet 23.6. Seems like a lot, but there's not a lot of problems on here, and they're just drawing a line. You only have to do, of course, numbers 1 through 9. The mixed review at the bottom is extra credit. So you just have 9 figures on lesson 23.6 worksheet. All that you have to do is draw a line of symmetry. Just find where the lines of symmetry would be, and you're going to say also if it has rotational symmetry. And you write yes or no. Yes, it has rotational symmetry, or no, it does not. Okay? So let me do number 1 for that one. It shows this figure that looks kind of like a window, doesn't it? Where would the line of symmetry be for that guy? There it is. Okay. If I flip this around, is it going to look the same? It's not. Does not have rotational symmetry, so on the line we write no. Okay? No, no. But look at number 2. Number 2 is this interesting figure. Let's see if I can draw it. Yeah, that's something like that. Okay? All right. So on this figure, I could draw a line of symmetry right there, or I could draw one across. Either one's a line of symmetry. Actually, you need to draw both because it says draw the lines of symmetry. So you need to draw both lines of symmetry. Does this have rotational symmetry? If I flip it around, is it going to look the same? It does. It does, because I can turn this the other way and it will look exactly the same. So that one's going to say yes underneath it. Okay? And that's what you do for 1 through 9 on worksheet 23.6. So that's a fast and easy one. It's all fast and easy. Okay, let's look at the lesson practice in the book really quick. A through D in the book, you're drawing the line of symmetry. So you're going to have to sketch out just a quick sketch like I did here of each of those and draw the line of symmetry. And then they just ask you a couple more questions. A regular octagon has how many lines of symmetry? You just have to sketch a little octagon. Remember, an octagon has how many sides? 8 sides. So it's 1, 2, 3. Ooh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's a terrible octagon. I have to work on that one. 8 sides on an octagon, though. And you're going to draw the lines of symmetry, or just see how many lines of symmetry. You could do an image search on Google for an octagon and just count how many lines of symmetry it would have. Okay? You have the same thing on the lesson 105 worksheet. You're drawing lines of symmetry for 1 through 3. They give you a hexagon and they want to know how many lines of symmetry it has. And number 5, there is one letter in the word subtract that has rotational symmetry. See if you can figure out which one it is. Easy, fun stuff. I always find geometric things really super interesting. I love them, so I hope you're enjoying it too. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.